Hey there, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Quick Bite History Live, where we have a little fun with history. We are very happy to be here this evening at our new time. You can catch us live each Wednesday evening now at 7:30 p.m. And that's, of course, 4:30 Pacific time. Tonight we have two different shows in one. First, we will roll out our robots for 8 exciting lightning rounds of digital speed painting. These will include the categories of Founders of Faith, Masters of the Written Word, Ancient Chinese Visionaries, Legends of Ancient India, Kings and Warriors of the Americas, Shapers of Medieval Destiny, Renaissance Revolutionaries, and Pioneers of the Industrial Revolution. So quite a odd collection as we do our lightning rounds. And then next we reprise 20 influential women of the ancient world. And I guarantee a very good challenge on that second round. So anyway, settle in for some serious fun with history. Now, please do check in. If you haven't checked in, say hi. Hi, Mary Jo. Yes, Obama. Hi, Rita. How's it going? Good to see you. Everybody can hear me okay? Everybody's ready to go. Let's fire up those robots for this first round, huh? Let's get it going. Now, remember, this is a lightning round, so there's only 4 or 5 in each category, and we'll move on to the next category. So you know the rules. Robots paint, you guess. We start off easy, and it gets harder over time. Founders of Faith. Founders of Faith. He was born in Bethlehem, but raised in Nazareth. He was a carpenter by trade before starting his public ministry. Who already knows this one? I bet you can guess this one. Founders of Faith. He taught through parables such as the Good Samaritan. His teachings are recorded in the New Testament of the Bible. Who is this? Founders of Faith. I think we could guess. He was crucified under the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate. That old Pontius Pilate guy. Who knows? They get harder. This is an easy one. That's right, it's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the central figure of Christianity, believed by followers to be the Son of God. All right, let's move on. Next up, this gentleman was born in Mecca in present-day Saudi Arabia. He is said to have received his first revelation from the angel Gabriel at the age of 40. Who knows who this is? His teachings are compiled in the Islamic holy book, the Quran. Who knows who this is? He is known as the last prophet in Islam. The last prophet in Islam. He founded the religion of Islam and unified much of the Arabian Peninsula under it. Who is this? Who knows? Oh, come on. You guys know this. This is Muhammad. Muhammad is revered by Muslims worldwide as the last prophet and the founder of Islam. All right, you understand how this works now. Here's our third founder of faith. He was born a prince in what is now Nepal. After seeing human suffering, he renounced his royal life to seek enlightenment. He meditated under the Bodhi tree until he achieved enlightenment. His teachings form the basis of Buddhism. Who is it? I think we know who this is. He taught the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Who knows who this is? That's right. This is a Buddha. Buddha's teachings focus on ending suffering through understanding desire and following a path of moderation, also known as Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama. Buddha. All right. Let's move on to the next founder of faith. He was a German monk and professor of theology. He questioned the selling of indulgences by the Catholic Church. He is known for his doctrine of justification by faith alone. Who knows who this founder of faith is? He translated the Bible into German, making it accessible to ordinary people. He initiated the Protestant Reformation by nailing his 95 Theses to the church door in Wittenberg. That's probably the key clue. Who is this? Anybody remember the name? Founder of faith is the category. That's right. This is Martin Luther. Martin Luther's actions led to a significant schism in Western Christianity and the formation of the Protestant churches. The Great Schism. Yes. All right, last one in the lightning round. Founders of faith. He was the first non-Italian pope in more than 450 years. He traveled to 129 countries during his papacy. He survived an assassination attempt in 1981. Does anybody remember this pope? He played a key role in the fall of communism in Eastern Europe. Who knows? He was Pope from 1978 until his death in 2005, becoming one of the longest-serving popes in history. Which pope is this? This is Pope John Paul II. He is remembered for his role in interfaith dialogue and his influence on world events, especially in Poland and Eastern Europe. Very popular Pope, Pope John Paul II. All right. Well, you guys didn't do that great at those. Hey, Erwin, how's it going? Let's end that lightning round. We'll go to the next round. The next category is Masters of the Written Word. So we're looking for writers. She was an English novelist born in the 18th century. Her works often explored the dependence of women on marriage. Her novels were published anonymously during her lifetime. We didn't know who wrote those. Her characters included Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Anybody remember who this famous writer is? Masters of the Written Word. She is the author of Pride and Prejudice. Who knows? Who knows the answer? Hey, how's it going? Arwen's in the house. Or Joe's in the house. Arena's in the house. I don't know who else is in the house because nobody else is answering, but you got to get your answers in. This indeed is Jane Austen. Jane Austen's novels set in Regency England are beloved for their wit, social commentary, and strong female protagonists. That's right, Jane Austen. All right, so you know how the game's played now. Masters of the Written Word is the category. Hey, what's going on? No chill. Here we go. Next writer. He was a Russian writer born in the 19th century. His early life was marked by time in a Siberian labor camp. That doesn't sound like fun. Who knows who this might be? Famous writers. He explored themes of psychology, morality, and religion. His characters included Raskolnikov and Karamazov brothers. Who wrote Karamazov brothers? Tolstoy is a good guess, but incorrect. It's the other one. It's the other guy. Who knows? Who knows who this is? Russian writer. Very famous. First name is Fyodor, as in kind of like Theodore, but Fyodor. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Dostoevsky. There we go. I like to say that. Fyodor. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Dostoevsky. That's him. Okay, we're doing writers. Lightning round for writers. She was an English writer and a modernist. Our first modernist. She was a central figure in Bloomsbury Group. Personally, I never heard of it, but I know the writer. Who knows? She was known for experimenting with stream of consciousness narrative style. That sounds cool. She wrote A Room of One's Own and To the Lighthouse. Who knows? Who knows this writer? And the robots nailed her portrait. That's her. She is considered a pioneering feminist and one of the greatest modernist writers. There you go. Okay, well, we'll move on from writers, but they only get harder. We got hard categories tonight, so good luck. Have your Google ready. She is considered a pioneer feminist. I already said that. Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf's work and essays were key in advancing discussions of gender and literature. Virginia Woolf. There you go. Okay, last one in the writers category. So we only do 4 or 5 in each category, so if you get sick of it, we move right along. He was a Colombian writer and journalist from Colombia. He is known for combining the everyday with the magical realism. That sounds interesting. Combining everyday with magical realism. Kind of like the TV news. He was influenced by his grandmother's storytelling about superstitions and folklore. Who knows this one? You wrote something called Love in the Time of Cholera. Doesn't sound like a very appetizing title. He also won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982 for his novel 100 Years of Solitude. 100 Years of Solitude. Anybody know? A little too obscure, perhaps, but he did win the Nobel Prize. This is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Gabriel Garcia Marquez is considered one of the most significant authors of the 20th century, credited with popularizing magical realism. Magical realism. How about that? All right, well, let's move on to Chinese visionaries. Chinese visionaries. He was a philosopher who lived during the spring and autumn period in Chinese history. How about that? His teachings focused on morality, social relationships, and justice. Ancient Chinese visionaries. His thoughts were collected in a book known as the Analects. The Analects. He emphasized piety and the importance of ritual. Piety and the importance of ritual. His teachings form the basis of Confucianism. That should be a pretty good clue. His teachings form the basis of Confucianism. That was incorrect. This is indeed Confucius. Confucius is one of the most influential philosophers in Chinese history, shaping the moral and social values of East Asia for centuries. Confucius. Okay, we're doing Chinese visionaries, so think China on this next one. And maybe you'll get this one. He was a military strategist who lived during the Eastern Zhao period. His work focuses on the importance of strategy and deception in warfare. I think you might get this one. His treatise has been studied not only in military academies, but also in business and sports. Anybody remember the name of the book, maybe? His most famous quote is, "All warfare is based on deception." Anybody know who this might be? His famous book is called The Art of War. The Art of War. Anybody remember who wrote The Art of War? Remember, we're doing Chinese folks. Chinese visionaries. This is Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, spelled Suntzu. His Art of War remains timeless guide on strategy applicable to both military and civilian life. There you go. Okay, here we go. Another China one. We got two more China ones. This guy was born Yingzheng, and became the king of the state of Qin. Qin. He standardized the written language, currency, and measurement across China. His reign saw the construction of a famous wall. This is the guy who built the wall, not Trump. He is famous for burying scholars alive and burning books to consolidate power. That doesn't sound very nice. The big emperor, he built the wall. He was the first emperor of the unified China, known for commissioning the Terracotta Army. Now, have you heard of the Terracotta Army? This is the guy who has the Terracotta Army. There you go. Who knows? How about the name Qin Shi Huang? Qin Shi Huang. His legacy includes the unification of China, the Great Wall, and the Terracotta Warriors, which still fascinate people today. Yes, indeed they do. Okay, Mercifully, there's only one more in the China category. And then we'll go on to the India category, which will be even harder. Okay, see if you can get this one. She rose from being a concubine to hold the highest rank in the court of the Tang dynasty. She was known for her intelligence and ruthlessness in eliminating political rivals. Who is this? She ruled under the title Empress Dowager. I don't know what that means in Chinese. Before taking the throne itself. She established her own dynasty, the Zhou dynasty, Z-H-O-U, during her reign. She is the only female emperor in Chinese history. Anybody know that one? That sounds kind of important, right? She's the only female. This is Wu Zetian. Remember that name, Wu Zetian. Is a remarkable figure as she broke through gender barriers in imperial China, becoming the sole woman to rule as emperor. Wu Zetian. All right, well, they don't get easier, folks, because now we have the legends of ancient India. So hopefully you guys are learning something on Quick Bite History Live. It's a little hard tonight, but we all learn. We all learn. Okay, legends of ancient India. He was emperor of the Maurya dynasty, ruling much of the Indian subcontinent. His early reign was marked by military conquest, particularly the bloody Kalinga War. After the Kalinga War, he embraced nonviolence and converted to Buddhism. What a guy. He is known for promoting Buddhism and building numerous stupas across his empire. Mulan is an excellent guess for the China category. Maybe it's just a slow internet. His edicts, carved on pillars and rocks, are some of the oldest written records in India. This is Ashoka. Ashoka the Great, in fact, is remembered for his transformation from a ruthless conqueror to compassionate ruler who spread Buddhism. Ashoka the Great. There he is. Learn something every day on Quick Bite History. This next one was a ruler who founded a powerful empire in northern India after Alexander the Great. It's retreat. After Alexander got out of Dodge, this guy took over. He was mentioned or mentored by a famous teacher and strategist who helped him rise to power. His empire eventually stretched across most of the Indian subcontinent. He is believed to have abdicated the throne and became a Jain monk, Jain monk, later in life. All these guys quit their conquering and became Buddhists and monks. He founded the Maurya Empire, the first large empire in Indian history. This is Chandragupta Maurya, or Maria. I think they pronounce it Maria. Chandragupta Maurya. He is credited with uniting the Indian subcontinent under a single administration for the very first time. Look at that guy. He looks like a bad dude. All right, we're learning things about India tonight. This guy was a scholar and mathematician who lived during the Gupta period. He was one of the earliest known astronomers from India, one of the first astronomers. He accurately calculated the length of the solar year and the Earth's circumference. He proposed that Earth rotates on its axis and explained the eclipses scientifically. This guy knew everything. He wrote the Aryabhatha, a foundational text in Indian mathematics and astronomy. Aryabhatya. Let me pronounce that a little better. Aryabhatya. And that's because his name is Aryabhata. Aryabhata. His contributions to mathematics and astronomy were groundbreaking, influencing both Indian and Islamic scholars. That has a little bit of a resemblance to Einstein, right? A little bit. I know these are hard. We're going to move on in categories in just a second. We have one more from India. And he was a philosopher, teacher, and advisor in ancient India. His teachings focus on economics, politics, and statecraft. Statecraft. Now, is that like the CIA stuff, or is that like the exploding pagers? That's statecraft. He is believed to have been instrumental in the rise of Maurya Empire. Kind of looks like Gandhi, but it's not Gandhi. This is earlier. This is still old, back in the day. Back in the day, India. He served as chief advisor to Chandragupta Maurya. This was his right-hand man. This is Chanakya. Chanakya's remains one of the most important ancient texts on political strategy and economic policy in India. So he wrote something called an Arthashastra. Okay, I'm done with India. How about you guys? Too hard to pronounce. I'm going to have to study up on that. All right, so maybe a little easier, although the figures are pretty obscure still. Kings and warriors of ancient Americas. Kings and warriors of ancient America. So this guy was a ruler from the city-state of the Maya civilization. His reign saw a significant expansion of architecture and artwork in the city. The city was Palenque in the Maya civilization. He was known for commissioning the construction of the Temple of Inscriptions. Not sure which building that is in the Maya civilization. His sarcophagus was discovered in 1950s, and it features an elaborate carving on its lid. He was buried in a grand tomb, and his jade death mask is a symbol of Mayan royalty. He had a jade death mask. Pretty cool. Anybody know who this is by any chance? Anybody know some Mayan history? This guy's name was Pakal the Great. Pakal. Wonder what you had to do to get. Well, that's a good guess. That Quetzalcoatl. Wow, good guess. But this is Pakal the Great. His reign left a lasting architectural legacy, and his tomb is one of the most famous archaeological discoveries in Mesoamerica. All right, you'll know this next name. That's my big clue. He was the ruler of the Aztec Empire at the time of its greatest territorial expansion. His reign was marked by increasing demands for tribute from subject peoples. He believed the arrival of Europeans, including that bad guy Hernan Cortez, was the fulfillment of a prophecy. He was taken captive by Spanish conquistadors during the invasion of Tenochtitlan. I don't know if I said that quite right. He was the last fully independent Aztec emperor, and his death marked the beginning of the collapse of the Aztec Empire. Remember this guy's name? Who was the emperor when Cortez came and the conquistadors? It's a famous name in Aztec lore. Anybody remember? Montezuma. This is the guy that they named the Montezuma's Revenge after, right? This is the Montezuma guy. That's right. Montezuma's encounter with Hernan Cortez is the tragic fate played a pivotal role in Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire. There he is, Montezuma. The Montezuma's Revenge, of course. These are hard, aren't they? But you're learning something, I hope. Anyway, next up, he was one of the last rulers of the Incan Empire. This is the Incan guy before the Spanish conquest. His reign was marked by a civil war with his brother, Huascar. Huascar was his brother, for control of the empire. He was captured by the Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro. To secure his release, he offered a room filled with gold as ransom. That would do it. I'd let him go. But he was executed by the Spanish, marking the end of the Incan Empire. Who was the last guy of the Incans? Anybody know that guy's name by any chance? It's also a familiar name in Mesoamerica. Atalupa's capture and execution by the Spanish marked a turning point in the conquest of the Incan Empire. Atahualpa. Maybe that's said better. Atahualpa. I'm sure I'm not saying that quite right. All right, next up, and mercifully the last one in the Mesoamerica category. He was also an Incan emperor known for expanding the empire into modern-day Ecuador. Anybody been to Ecuador? It's very fun down there. And Colombia. His reign saw a blend of military success and consolidation of the empire's vast territories. His death led to a succession crisis between his sons Atahualpa and Huascar. So this is the dad. His death occurred just before the arrival of the Spanish, which weakened the whole empire. He was one of the last great emperors of the Incan Empire before it started its decline. Anybody know this guy? Just by appearance, you might have seen him in the papers or something. No? Okay, this is Huayna Capac. Huayna Capac. His death and subsequent civil war between his sons played a critical role in how fast the Spanish were able to take over the Incas. They were already weakened by this guy's death. Oh my gosh, those are hard. Well, it gets a tiny bit easier. We have the medieval shapers of medieval destiny category. So this gentleman was born a peasant and rose to become one of the greatest Byzantine emperors. Anybody know a Byzantine emperor? His reign saw the reconquest of much of the former Western Roman Empire's territories. He initiated an ambitious building program, including the construction of the famous Basilica in Constantinople. His wife, Theodora, was a powerful co-ruler and advisor during the reign. Anybody know this guy? Byzantine. He codified Roman law in a collection known as Corpus Juris Civilis, or Justinian Code. That's right, this is Justinian the First. He is remembered for his legal reforms and architectural achievements, particularly the Hagia Sophia. Anybody know that building, the Hagia Sophia in Constantinople? Really a cool, I guess it was a mosque, it was a church, it was a cathedral. Check it out, Hagia Sophia, Constantinople. Istanbul. Okay, next up, you'll know this name. He was crowned king of the Franks, or Franks, in the late 8th century. He waged numerous military campaigns to expand his empire, including against the Saxons and the Lombards. Who knows? This is well after Hannibal. This is medieval. His reign helped unite much of Western Europe under one ruler. This was the big guy that put the whole thing back together again after the fall of Rome. He was crowned Emperor of the Romans by Pope Leo III on Christmas Day in the year 800. That's back there. He is often called the Father of Europe for his role in shaping medieval Europe. Who was the big guy? Who brought everything together in the early castle days? He had a lot of castles. Anybody remember? Charlemagne. His reign marked the revival of the Western Roman Empire and the foundation of what became the Holy Roman Empire. He brought it all back together again. Here's another medieval conqueror kind of guy. That's a clue. He was born as the illegitimate son of the Duke of Normandy. Oh my gosh. His claim to the English throne was contested after the death of King Edward the Confessor. Like the way they always had those extra names. King Edward the Confessor. He led a famous invasion of England in 1066. His victory at the Battle of Hastings secured his control over England. This is the guy. This is the guy who did that. Anybody remember who that is? His victory at the Battle of Hastings. He became the first Norman king of England, transforming the country's culture and governance. Anybody remember who did that? This is medieval time. This is the end of medieval, well, medieval time, 1066. This is William the Conqueror. William the Conqueror's victory in 1066 had a profound impact on English history, including the introduction of Norman culture and feudalism. There you go. England used to be into all kinds of weird stuff, and with Vikings and all sorts of things, Scots. All right, let's move on. We're doing medieval times. This guy was born in what is now modern-day Iraq and rose to prominence in Egypt. He led the Muslim military forces during the Crusades. So this is one of the main leaders against the Christians in the Crusades, defending Jerusalem from European invaders. He was known for his chivalry and fair treatment of captured enemies. He recaptured Jerusalem from the Crusaders in 1187. There you go. We have a winner. Thank goodness. Madou. Thank you for getting that. Awesome. He faced Richard the Lionheart during the Third Crusade. Yes, indeed. This is Saladin, or Saladin. Saladin is remembered for his leadership in the Crusades and his reputation for fairness, especially during the capture of Jerusalem. Saladin. There he is. Good job. I bet you'll get the next one too. Remember, this is medieval times in this category. This guy was born into a Venetian merchant family. His travels took him across the Silk Road to Asia, where he served a famous emperor. He served in the court of a Chinese emperor or a Mongolian emperor. He wrote about the travels in the book that fascinated Europeans with descriptions of the East. He wrote a book. He spent years in the court of Kublai Khan. There you go, Kublai, the Mongol ruler of China. Wasn't he the grandson of Genghis Khan, I think? I think so. Yeah, there you go. We got two in a row. His journey to China inspired European explorers, including Christopher Columbus. This was the inspiration for old Christopher. Marco Polo. Marco Polo's travels introduced Europeans to the riches and wonders of Asia, shaping Western perceptions of the East. Marco Polo, indeed. Well, that concludes that lightning round. But now we have Renaissance Revolutionaries. Renaissance Revolutionaries. So I bet you can get some of these. I'm glad to see we got a few of those. That was awesome. So again, this next category is Renaissance Revolutionaries. And here we go with, he was born into a powerful banking family in Florence. His leadership helped turn Florence into a culture center of the Renaissance. He was a patron of many famous artists, including Michelangelo and Botticelli. So this is the guy who ponied up for the artists. There you go. He was born into a merchant. He was known as Lorenzo the Magnificent for his influence in both politics and art. There you go. You got that one too. We got a streak going. His family wealth and political power helped shape the course of Italian Renaissance. Yes, indeed, this is Lorenzo de Medici. Or Medici. Sorry, I got excited there. Lorenzo de Medici, patronage of the arts, played a pivotal role in the flourishing of the Renaissance culture in Florence. So he was indeed a Renaissance revolutionary. Next up, here he is. This gentleman was born in Florence, and he served as a diplomat and politician during the Renaissance. His observations of political power were shaped by his time in public service and military experience. He wrote that it is better to be feared than loved in his most famous work. His name has become synonymous with political cunning and manipulation. Who knows who this is? That's a good clue. The next one will definitely give it away, I think. There you go. You got it. He is the author of The Prince, a treatise on political power. Yes, indeed. Niccolo Machiavelli. Niccolo Machiavelli, The Prince, is one of the most famous works on political theory, often seen as advocating ruthless pragmatism in leadership. There he is, Machiavelli. Now this next one is making his second appearance of the evening. He was in an earlier category. He was a professor of theology in Germany in the early 16th century. His criticism of certain church practices, especially the sale of indulgences, sparked controversy. He translated the Bible into German, making it accessible to the common people. Who knows who this is? And here's the key clue. He posted his 95 theses on a church door, challenging the Catholic Church's practices. Yes, indeed. There it is, Vincent. His actions initiated the Protestant Reformation. Yes, they did, which split the Christian church, the Great Schism. Martin Luther's work led to a significant schism in Western Christianity, creating the Protestant movement that shaped Europe for centuries. All right, there he is, Martin Luther, making a second appearance tonight. Yes. I believe he was also in the previous category. Founders of Faith. He was in the Founders of Faith category. Next up, he was a French theologian who fled to Switzerland due to religious persecution. He emphasized predestination in his teachings. That sounds interesting. A doctrine central to his followers. His writings shaped the development of Protestantism, especially in Geneva. His Institutes of Christian Religion became one of the foundational texts of the Reformed theology. Who knows who this is? He was a key figure in the Protestant Reformation, and Calvinism is named after him. Well, Calvinism is named after him. Who is this? That's right. This is John Calvin. Of course, I didn't know his first name either. John Calvin, his theological ideas had a lasting impact on Protestantism, hard to say, particularly in Reformed traditions, and influenced regions like Switzerland, France, and Scotland. Why Scotland? Yeah, you got it, Marco. That's it. Oh, we're already into the next category, though. This is the last one in Figures of the Renaissance. She was the daughter of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Her early life was marked by instability. Her reign saw the defeat of the Spanish Armada. She's the lady, 1588. She was known as the Virgin Queen for never marrying and maintaining control of her rule. Who knows who this is? Her long reign is known as the blank era. I'm not going to tell you that one. A golden age of English culture, arts, and exploration. Anybody remember the daughter of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn? This is indeed Queen Elizabeth I. Her reign brought stability to England and saw the flourishing of English culture, including the works of Shakespeare. Wow, cool. There she is, Queen Elizabeth. Not Victoria. Way before Victoria. All right, we're in our last of the lightning round categories. This next one is pioneers of the Industrial Revolution, and this is really just famous people during that period. Well, this guy was born in Scotland and trained as a maker of scientific instruments. His early work focused on improving the efficiency of steam engines. This is the steam engine guy. Excuse me. Who knows who that is? He developed the separate condenser, which greatly increased the steam engine's efficiency. His improvements helped power factories and mines, fueling the Industrial Revolution. Key guy. The unit of power is named after him. Who can think of a unit of power? Who knows? This is like the father of the Industrial Revolution. This is James Watt. Yes, James Watt's innovations in steam engine technology were crucial in advancing industrial production and mechanization. And obviously, his last name became a unit of power for electricity. There you go. Jules, I like that guess. That's a good guess. Next up, this guy was born in the American colonies and became known for his ingenuity. His invention greatly influenced the southern economy in the United States. His creation increased the efficiency of cotton processing, but also contributed to the expansion of slavery. I don't know if that's true. Maybe. He pioneered the use of interchangeable parts in manufacturing, a key innovation in industrial production. He is best known for inventing the cotton gin. The cotton gin. Who invented the cotton gin? Well, it was a guy named Eli Whitney. You guys remember that now? Eli Whitney. Eli Whitney's cotton gin revolutionized cotton production, but his development of interchangeable parts had a longer lasting impact on manufacturing. There you go. Now, along the same timeline, this scientist embarked on a 5-year voyage aboard the HMS Beagle. Beagle, like a dog. His observation of finches in the Galapagos Islands led to the groundbreaking scientific theories. It was the finches. His ideas on natural selection were controversial at the time. Who knows who this is? His work formed the basis of modern evolutionary biology. There you go, Marcos. Pretty important, huh? He is the author of On the Origin of Species. So if you take away one thing, there it is. That's the name of Charles Darwin's book, On the Origin of Species. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection transformed biological sciences and sparked debates on the origin of life. Charles Darwin, the Galapagos Islands, HMS Beagle, and On the Origin of Species. There's your takeaways. That's going to be my new series. Just takeaways. And next up, this guy was born in Germany, but spent much of his life in political exile. He believed that history was defined by class struggles and conflicts. His most famous collaboration was with Friedrich Engels, Mr. Engels, with whom he co-authored a famous political document. There you go, Vincent's on the board. His ideas on class struggle and revolutionary influenced many political movements, especially later in the 20th century. He is the author of the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital. Das Kapital, spelled with a K. I think everybody's got this. Yeah, everybody's got this one. Karl Marx. Karl Marx's writings laid the foundation for the modern socialist and communist thought, influencing revolutions and movements across the globe. Little did he know. Okay, last one in the Industrial Revolution category. This guy was known for his prolific inventing and held over 1,000 different patents in his lifetime. He established the first industrial research laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. He helped develop the phonograph and motion pictures, as well as devices that can store sound. Who knows who this is? His competition with Nikola Tesla in the War of Currents was a famous event in the history of electricity. He is best known for inventing the practical incandescent light bulb. Yeah, you got it. Pretty famous inventor, huh? Good one for the last one in the category. Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison's contributions to electrical systems, recording technology, and motion pictures helped shape modern technology and entertainment. Well, that was a little harder than I thought it would be for all of us, but we made it through. Now there is a second round available for all you folks. And I'm not going to say it's easier, but you may know some of them. This is going to be, let me fire up the robot. I have to actually oil the robots and bring out a whole new video file for this next round. So here we go. This is influential women of the ancient world. Influential women of the ancient world. This is going to be a challenge, so do pay attention to the clues. The clues may help. All right, here we go. I think you'll know the first one. And this is first person, so I kind of like that. I could do a female voice, I guess. I ruled over ancient kingdom located in North Africa. My relationships with two powerful Roman leaders were pivotal in my story. I was known for my intelligence, political acumen, and my charm. Who knows who this is? My dramatic death involved a venomous snake. I am the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic, or just Ptolemaic. Do you pronounce the P or don't even pronounce the P? I don't know. Kingdom of Egypt. Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. There you go. Vincent has it. Yes, indeed. This is Cleopatra. Cleopatra the Seventh is remembered as one of history's most famous and intriguing women. Her alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, as well as her tragic death, have become immortalized in art and literature. She played a crucial role in the political landscape of her time and left a lasting legacy in both Egyptian and Roman history. There you go. All right, they get harder. I lived in a prominent city of learning in Roman Egypt. My father was a well-known mathematician and philosopher. I taught philosophy and astronomy at the Neoplatonic School. My work on the astrolabe and hydrometer advanced scientific understanding. I was tragically killed by a mob due to political and religious tensions. Bummer. Now, let's see. What did I say? I said she lived in a prominent city of learning in Roman Egypt, so that would be Alexandria, probably. So this is, who is this? This is Hypatia of Alexandria. Hypatia of Alexandria was a pioneering mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher. She is often considered the first female mathematician of note, and her death marked a significant point in the decline of classical scholarship in Alexandria. There she is, Hypatia. Learn something every day on Quick Bite History Live. Next up, I led a rebellion against a foreign empire in the 1st century AD, way back. My kingdom was located in what is now modern-day Britain. I was a queen of the Iceni tribe. Anybody know? Queen of the Iceni tribe. My forces sacked London and other major cities. She fought against the Romans. I am celebrated as a symbol of British resistance against the Roman rule. She was a badass woman. Red hair. There you go. Vincent's got it. Yes, indeed. This is a lady known as Boudica. Boudica was a fierce and courageous leader who united various British tribes in significant uprising against Roman occupation. Her legacy endures as a symbol of the struggle of freedom and independence. There she is. Boudica, the queen of the Iceni. Yes. I've done a couple little videos of Boudica. Nice AI video. Catch those if you get a chance. Okay, next up. She got mentioned earlier in the evening. I started my life as an actress in Constantinople. How about that? I married an emperor and became a powerful co-ruler. That's that Justinian guy, right? I was instrumental in quelling the Nika riots. I think that's what she's most famous for. My influence led to significant legal reforms to support women's rights. And she was indeed the wife of Emperor Justinian I of the Byzantine Empire. So she was there when they built the Hagia Sophia, all kinds of important things. No, it's not Isabella. Good guess. This is indeed Theodora. Theodora was the wife of Justinian. Was one of the most influential empresses of the Byzantine Empire, known for her political acumen and efforts to improve the status of women. Her partnership with Justinian I shaped the empire's policies and governance. Theodora. I'm back. All right, on to number 5. Famous women of ancient times. And this lady's making her second appearance tonight as well. She was on the Chinese Visionaries. I started as a concubine before rising to power. Who remembers? I ruled during the Tang Dynasty in China. Anybody remember? My reign saw significant expansion and prosperity. I declared myself emperor, founding a new dynasty. I am the only female emperor in Chinese history. Who knows who that is? The only female emperor or empress in Chinese history. Who knows? Yeah, that's it. Did you remember that from tonight, or did you know that from before? That's right, Wu Zetian. Wu Zetian was a formidable and ambitious ruler who broke gender barriers to become the sole female emperor of China. Her reign was marked by her effective administration, military expansion, and her support for Buddhism. You didn't know that before. Wu Zetian. Nobody's going to forget Wu Zetian now. Very good. There you go. You probably don't know this next one. I was the daughter of a pharaoh. I ruled Egypt as regent before declaring myself pharaoh. I commissioned numerous building projects, including a famous mortuary temple, Der el-Bahari. Der el-Bahari. Yeah. I commissioned numerous building projects. I often depicted myself in masculine attire and symbols. She wore the pharaoh's headdress. I was one of the most successful female pharaohs in ancient Egypt. Who remembers who this is? Probably the second most famous female pharaoh. This is indeed Hatshepsut. Hutch. You got to say that fast, though. Hatshepsut is renowned for her prosperous and peaceful reign, during which she expanded trade networks and undertook impressive architectural projects, including her temple at Deir el-Bahari. Deir el-Bahari. Next up. I lived on a Greek island famous for its poetry. My lyrical poetry often celebrated love and beauty. Little of my work survives, but I am highly regarded. My verses were often set to music, and they were performed. I am known as one of the greatest female poets of ancient Greece. Remember who the most famous female poet of ancient Greece is? Who knows? She lived on an island. This is Sappho. Sappho's poetry has had lasting impact on literature, and she is remembered as one of the greatest lyrical poets of antiquity. Her work, though fragmented, continues to inspire and resonate with readers today. This is Sappho. She's often in the list of the most beautiful women in history. Little aside. All right, next up. They get a little harder, I hate to say. I ruled as a queen in the region now part of modern-day Turkey. I commanded ships in a significant naval battle. That's what she's famous for. I was an ally to a Persian king during his invasion of Greece. I fought at the Battle of Salamis. I am known as a female naval commander who served Xerxes the First. Look at that. She is a naval commander. Anybody remember who this is? Isn't Xerxes the guy who fought Thermopylae? I think so. King Leonidas. Yeah. Artemisia. This is Artemisia the First of Caria. Artemisia the First was a capable and courageous leader who commanded her own fleet during the Greco-Persian Wars. Her strategic insights and bravery were recognized even by her enemies. There you go, Artemisia of Caria. Next up, I ruled a powerful city-state in the Eastern Roman Empire. Again, in the Eastern Roman Empire. My reign saw significant territorial expansion. I claimed descent from Cleopatra the Seventh. This is a descendant of Cleopatra, part of the Ptolemaic group. I led a revolt against Roman authority. Doesn't look like a fighter. I was the Queen of Palmyra. The Queen of Palmyra. Who knows who the Queen of Palmyra is? This is somebody known as Zenobia. Zenobia was a formidable ruler who challenged Roman dominance and expanded her kingdom across the Middle East. Her defiance and eventual defeat have cemented her place in history as a symbol of resistance. Zenobia. Look that one up. After the game, of course. Zenobia. Really attractive lady there. Right? Maybe that's just the robots. This lady lived in ancient Mesopotamian city of Ur. So that's way back, right? That's like the first city. I served as a high priestess of the moon god Nana. Nana. I compose hymns and poetry dedicated to the gods. My writings are among the earliest known in human history. So yeah, that city of Ur is like the first known city. So this is a gal who lived there. My writing, I am often considered the world's first known author. She's the first author. Hmm. Anybody know who that is? You might have it. Delilah. No, it's not Delilah. Kind of looks like Delilah. This is Enheduanna. Sorry, let me say that again. Enheduanna. Her contributions to literature and religion were groundbreaking as a high priestess and poet. She composed her works were provided invaluable insights into early Mesopotamian, so this is the key, Mesopotamian culture and religion. There you go. Learn something every day on Quick Bite History Live. I was Queen of Regents in the Assyrian Empire. Seems like we're going back in time. My rule was marked by military campaigns and expansion. I was the mother of Adad Nirari III. I have no idea who that is. Legends about me inspired the myth of Semiramis. I don't know what that is either. But here is the key. I ruled Assyria in the 9th century BC. So 900 to 1000. It's 900 BC or 800. 800 BC. I don't know how that works. When you go in reverse, how does the centuries work? Like the 18th century is the 1700s. And anyway, that's an aside. This is Samu Rammat. Samu Rammat was a powerful and influential queen regent whose legacy inspired numerous myths and legends. Her reign contributed to the strength and stability of the Assyrian Empire. I don't think any of us were expected to know that one. No. All right, next up. I was born into a royal family in ancient Greece. My father was King Cleomenes I. Cleomenes I. I married a famous king known for his stand at Thermopylae. So this is the lady who married King Leonidas. I offered strategic advice during the Persian Wars. Isn't she the one who wanted him to push the messenger into the pit? You guys know what I'm talking about from the movie 300? This is Sparta, right? I was the wife of King Leonidas. There's confirmation. Who knows who the wife of King Leonidas was? It wasn't Samira. Anybody know? Hey there, Moon. What's up? Sorry I missed you. This is Gorgo. Did you know her name was Gorgo? Gorgo, Queen of Sparta, played a significant role in political and military affairs of her time. Her wisdom and counsel were instrumental during critical moments in Greek history, particularly during the Persian Wars. Gorgo. There she is. All right. I was born in a city in Asia Minor. I moved to Athens and became a prominent intellectual figure. My relationship with famous Athenian statesmen brought me into the political spotlight. I hosted salons where philosophers and politicians gathered. Sounds like a good party. I was the companion of Pericles. Sounds like an important lady. Hosted salons. Anybody know? Anybody know their Greek history mixed with myth? Always. This is Aspasia of Miletus. Aspasia of Miletus was a highly influential figure in classical Athens, known for her intellect and political engagement, her relationship with Pericles, and her role in Athenian society made her a key player. Next up, you'll know this next name. I was a princess of Epirus. Epirus. I married a Macedonian king. The key clue. Here's the key. My son became one of the most famous conquerors in history. I was known for my religious fervor and my political ambition. I was indeed the mother of Alexander the Great. Who remembers who that is? Who knows the mother of Alexander the Great? Quickly Google. You could do a quick chat, GPT. Who's the mother of Alexander the Great? It is indeed Olympias. Olympias was a powerful and ambitious queen whose influence extended far beyond her role as the mother of Alexander the Great. Her political machinations, that's a better way to say that, and religious devotion left a significant mark on Macedonian history. Olympias. There she is. We're getting close to the end, guys. Hang in there. Let's do some Romans, okay? We've done way back. We've done some Greeks. Let's do some Romans. I was born in a prominent Roman family. I married 3 politically significant men. How about that? I played an active role in politics of the late Roman Republic. That gives you the time frame. I led military forces in defense of my husband's interests. She was a fighter. Who is the wife of Mark Antony? This is the wife of Mark Antony, and she was married to 3 different key guys in Rome. Anybody know? Fulvia is her name. Fulvia was a formidable and influential woman in Roman politics. Her marriages to influential men and her active participation in political and military affairs made her a notable figure in the most tumultuous period of the late Roman Republic. Right? So right around what? 50 BC or so. 40 BC. Yeah. Attractive woman. Look at that. Huh. Fulvia. At least the robots think she's attractive. Another Roman. I was a member of the Julio Claudian dynasty. That's Julius Caesar also. My son became one of Rome's most infamous emperors. I was exiled and later returned to power. I was known for my ambition and political influence. I was the mother of Emperor Nero. This is Nero's mom. Anybody remember who Nero's mom was? She's got a bunch of stories about her. You go back to my channel. You can watch some housewives of the Roman Empire. This is Agrippina the Younger, in fact. Agrippina the Younger was a powerful and ambitious figure in Roman history. Her influence over her son Nero and her role in politics of the Julio-Claudian dynasty have made her a subject of fascination and controversy. Agrippina the Younger. Okay, we've only got a few more of these. We've got one more Roman. I was born into a noble Roman family. Okay. I married the first Roman emperor. So once we became emperors, this gal married him. My influence, I assume that's Julius Caesar. My influence extended over several generations of rulers. I was known for my role in maintaining the Julio-Claudian dynasty. Oh, I was the wife of Emperor Augustus right after Julius Caesar. I was the wife of Emperor Augustus. There you go. Who knows? But yeah, it turns out it wasn't Mrs. Caesar. It was Mrs. Augustus. Livia Drusilla was her name. Livia Drusilla was a key figure in early Roman Empire. As the wife of Augustus, she wielded considerable influence and played a crucial role in the succession and stability of the Julian-Claudian dynasty. Livia Drusilla. There you go. There she is. All right, let's change gears a little bit. I was princess of a Germanic tribe. Who knows their Germanic tribes? Like where Attila the Hun was from, right? I became regent for my young son. I sought to preserve Roman traditions and culture. Germanic tribe, but sought to preserve Roman traditions. My reign was marked by political intrigue and eventual betrayal. Of course it did. I was the queen of the Ostrogoths. Those Ostrogoths, right? That sounds like a modern comic book. Ostrogoths. Hope we can make a story about that. Anybody know who this is? This is Amalasuntha. Amalasuntha. Amalasuntha was queen who survived to maintain Roman traditions and fostered a period of cultural continuity. This must have been right at the fall of the Roman Empire, right? 400s. Her efforts to navigate the complex political landscape over time were ultimately met with betrayal and tragedy, as it always was, right? All right, we've got 2 more names on our list. Hang in there. Hang in there. I don't know which one we're on, but we'll go with the clues. I took a vow of virginity and dedicated my life to religious pursuits. I became a co-ruler of the Eastern Roman Empire. I played a key role in theological debates and councils. I influenced the Council of Chalcedon. I was the sister of Emperor Theodosius II. I have no idea who this is, but this is after the fall of the Roman Empire, pretty much. Who knows who this is? This is someone named Pulcheria. Pulcheria was a significant religious and political figure in the Eastern Roman Empire. Her dedication to her faith and her influence in church matters had a lasting impact on the development of Christian doctrine. All right, last one of the evening. Last one. We made it all the way to the end. I was queen of an ancient Korean kingdom. We're doing Korea. My reign saw military and cultural advancements. I was known for my diplomatic skills and alliances. So they all say. My kingdom was one of the 3 kingdoms of Korea. Anybody know any queens from Korea? That's not my forte. Not in my playbook. I was an influential queen of Gogureo. Gogureo. That's right. We better tell you what it is because you're never going to guess. This is Empress Mai Yang Song of Gogureo. Mai Yang Song of Gogureo. There you go. I'm sure I didn't say that right. But she was a pivotal figure in Korean history. There you go. Oh, hopefully we learned a few things tonight. We learned that we don't know nothing. And if I ever bring those back, you'll know a little more next time. So anyway, I want to say thank you guys for hanging in there and joining me tonight. We'll try to make them a little easier next time. Maybe we'll do some movie stars or some TV shows or something to ease it up a bit. That was some heavy history, right? Yeah, that was some heavy history. Well, again, thank you guys for coming, and I'll say goodnight. So thanks again.